Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining our Zoom call meeting. Tonight, we're going to focus on dialogue, scripts, and talking to people. So honestly, I did not have an agenda. Got more people jumping on right now. I just really kind of wanted to walk through. I think this is a fabulous book. It's I'm sorry, reading it backwards, Connecting and Overcoming Objections. And there's different volumes. It's written by Kathy Cooper. So it's all of her years worth of experience on how to connect with people and different things like that. And she does exactly what we learned at the University in Action. I'm going to highly recommend you guys go to that. I've been doing this business way too long for that one weekend to change everything. So I'm disappointed that it's taken me this long, but however, whatever, it's here now. Hello, Jennifer, how are you? Can you see us? Jennifer's out running too, Shar. Great. Everybody, welcome Jennifer Morris. And I'm going to kind of talk a little bit about how we met Jennifer. This is a small portion of our team to hear about the dialogue, but Jennifer joined one of our Facebook parties Sunday, and we've been pretty much talking ever since then. She's been watching the videos and looking at isogenicsbusiness.com, and of course here on our call tonight. So she's part of what I was alluding to with just keeping it extremely simple and sharing it with people so they can be duplicatable. So Jennifer, feel free to ask any questions you want. Otherwise, we're just going to kind of chat and go into how to talk to people and what to say. But I'm really glad you're here. Some people are having trouble getting in. Okay, looks like there's a lot of internet down. That's too bad. Don't let it get it. All right. So the connecting, we started a week and a half ago, which with just connecting to people and talking to them without having any kind of intent on selling them. How many of you, and a couple of you are muted, but how many of you honestly went in and started having conversations with people without having that intention and just started connecting and building relationships? All right, good. Bryce, Beth, and Shar, you're muted, so we can't hear you guys. Great. Okay, good. Shar and Jennifer are both out exercising right now. This is great. It's windy out here, too. Yeah. How did that feel? Did you notice a difference in yourself as to how you communicated with people and how they reacted? Bryce, we'll ask you that question real fast.
Yeah. I think I mentioned it. I really had, when I was making eye contact and stuff, was the one thing that I worked on for the first part of that, and just saying hello and talking to people. And it was really, interesting how many people just shied away from me in that respect. And so even maybe because I was at the gym mostly, and so most people are not in that mindset to be super friendly. So trying to strike up a conversation with somebody on the treadmill or the bike next to me was not always maybe where they wanted to be in the moment. So it was a little harder, I think, getting those conversations going, though I tried awful hard to do that and to connect with the eye contact and just saying hello. And so I continue. I've noticed that I can keep continuing to do that even since then. After we did that kind of intentional 3-day period, I keep going. Okay, I need to make eye contact. I need to say hello, and I need to smile more often.
Right.
So
good. And when you're out and about, other than the gym, are you finding that they say hello back and smile back?
For the most part, yeah.
And that's kind of the reason. I mean, unfortunately, our world has become that way, where we're on our phones. And I mean, we joked about it today on our field trip. Get off the phone and connect with someone. Look at them in the eye. And so we're having seminars on how to teach people how to do that.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is kind of crazy. But how did it make you feel putting yourself in that environment?
I tend to be an outgoing person anyways, but still having to push myself a little bit. And that was good. It was a challenge in that sense. And just to be open to just receiving conversation with no other intention or ulterior motive behind that. That was kind of a nice feeling, just to be like, okay, I really want to try to connect with this person or whoever this is. And so that was different. Oftentimes it's when I'm selling my business as a personal trainer, hey, how's it going? Are you reaching your goals? And so in the same manner with the Isogenics when I started that, but for those, that time frame was just like, hey, how are you? Who are you? What's going on? Let's just talk. And so that was different.
Good, good. And you'll even find that with friends, and when we're a professional network marketer, we do have that temporary loss of society and how they feel about us. And, the joke about being a part of NFL, people, even our good friends and family are like, oh my gosh, I don't want to go over there because they're going to try and sell me on something.
Yeah.
And we don't do that. That's not our background. That's not our company. And that's not what we teach people at all. But people have that stigma. So when we just drop that and say, hey, I just want to chat, I just want to get to know you and let them feel that, everything changes. I even had that experience the Friday nights that I'm doing. I tell them up front, there's no sales presentation, there's no demo. This is really just for us to get to know each other, reconnect, and so on. And a lot of my friends came, and they were waiting. Their shoulders were up, they were just waiting. And I'm like, guys, there's not going to be any sales pitch tonight. And they're like, great. I'm like, really? You guys had to? I really had to put that out there. So now I make sure I do.
Yeah.
Feel that uncomfortable situation with them. I just put it out there. I just really want to get to know you. So big difference with that. Excellent. So when connecting with people, and it's funny, I'm going to go ahead and do this training right now. The biggest thing is really truly just say hello and smile and let a conversation happen and go back and forth. Connect with them. Now, when you become really good at this and you really do connect with people, you can throw in the intention at the end. But we wanted people to kind of really start connecting and not have the intention, so you get the feeling, you know how to ask questions, ping pong back and forth with their life, tell them a little bit about yours, get the ground floor and the common ground with each other. But at some point, as a professional network marketer, you do want to add that in. Let's see. Jennifer, I'm just going to go ahead and mute you for right now. Okay.
Deal.
Okay. I'm not sure if it was the wind or what that was, but okay, great. You can throw that in. I'll give a quick example. I've been doing a lot of Ubers recently, and each one of them, I'll take the full time until I actually am just about ready to get out of the Uber or the cab. I take that entire time to just get to know them, ask them questions. When something is common ground for me, I let them know that so that we can ping pong and go back and forth. And then once I'm ready to get out, I'll hand them my business card and maybe an e-shot or something like that and say, hey, I really enjoyed talking to you. And I do it different every time, so there's no script for me. But I really enjoy talking to you. I mentioned that I do run and operate a nutritional health business. Here's one of our products, my card. You can check it out. Look at your products. If you ever want to know about what we do, my name and number is there. If you just want to reconnect on what we were talking about. But that entire time they're in their cab, they never felt a sales pitch. Maybe a little bit towards the end, but they're not going to remember that at the end. They're going to remember our conversation. And I'm talking everything, we're talking opera and school and locations and travel, because I'm asking them, so where have you lived? How long have you lived here? Do you have kids? What's your favorite place to travel? What do you do in your travel? Do you work another job other than this? It's all about them. And that's what they're going to remember. So that connecting portion is huge. Does anyone want to kind of role play over a connecting piece, or we can kind of move on to maybe some objections that you guys have received? Okay, everybody's good with connecting. You're all muted for the most part, but if anyone wants to go over anything, just let me know. Okay, all right. It's an easy thing to do as long as you have the right mentality to connect with people, and asking them simple questions is the best way to do it. Make it all about them. So overcoming objections, and well, let's backtrack a little bit. So the 30-second story. How many of you have shared your 30-second story, whether your actual story or, hi Jazzy, your actual story or your video? Has anyone done that yet? Okay, great. Bryce has. Okay, good. A couple of you, your videos are off, so I can't see you. Bryce, how did that go? When did you share your story or your video?
I shared my story because I did it after I made the video. I think I did that on Friday night, and then I had the launch party on Saturday. So I did a little bit more extended version of my story for the launch party on Saturday. But then again, tonight I met with one of the young ladies who came to the launch party. She wanted me to meet with her and her mom this evening and talk to her mother. And so I shared my 30-second story with mom and really kept it to that 30 seconds initially. And then as we continued conversation over the course of the hour, more stuff came out. But initially I really tried to do just my 30-second story tonight even. So.
Right. How did it work? How did it come out for you?
Fairly good, I think. Now that after my 23rd try making my video, and then the couple times I've done it since, I felt pretty comfortable with it. And now that I've done it and I've run it through my head several times, even just kind of the succinct version of it, like I did on the video, it seemed to flow pretty well tonight, even as I shared it tonight.
Beautiful. Okay, great. That's exactly it. And that's why we wanted you guys to videotape it, because most people aren't going to get it the first time around. So if you just go over and over, you may not get to 100 at this point, but over time you'll get to 100, and then it can just come out so much easier. So you felt that?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it did. It flowed pretty freely tonight.
Okay, good.
And I went in knowing that she was going to be there as somebody who knew that I was going to meet, and I wanted to do it in that way initially. So, and that's how I, was intentional about it with just the 30-second bit.
Great. All right, cool. So I'll let you guys know kind of one of our next steps coming up is for us to take each other's stories and share them with other people. So there was one little situation yesterday where a girlfriend tagged me on a post of a mom who happens to be nursing. She has a couple kids and she's tired. It was exactly my story. Now, my girlfriend didn't know that. She was just trying to offer her a solution, and I'd already done my video, of course. So it was super easy to just go into YouTube, copy my link, send that to her with a quick little version of my situation. I haven't heard from her yet, but who knows? We're just going to play with it, and I'll follow up with her. But everyone else made posts. Mine was a private message, so I don't know what she received private, of course. But everyone else was, you should do this and feel great, or I do this and I feel great, or my girlfriend likes this and felt great. No one really gave very many specifics to her situation of, hey, I was a nursing mom too. I have 3 kids. I was low on energy. I didn't feel good and I was sleeping. They didn't hit her common ground. They were just immediately going into a solution for her without establishing a relationship. So I'm expecting and hoping that that's what will set us out and set us apart, and continuing to do it that way. It's always about common ground. Even when we're doing our 3-way calls, and I'm gonna pick on Jennifer because she's on, and so Jennifer and I just met for the first time over the phone. We've been talking every day since we met, and are going to be meeting actually next Tuesday. But the first 3/4 of the call was all about Jennifer. Let me know a little bit about you and find those common grounds. What do you want? Asking her very specific questions. Jennifer, not that I'm ever going to sell people on anything, but did you ever feel like I was trying to sell you on anything, or how did you feel about our conversation? And go ahead and be honest, because this is all training right now.
I definitely didn't feel like you were trying to pressure me into buying anything. It was just like, hey, let me get to know you, and then we'll go from there. That's exactly, I feel like your intentions were, and that's what it felt like to me also.
Great. Okay, good. Thank you. It can either come out naturally or it's something we have to work on. But either way, our job is just to get to know them and find out what can we offer them? What do we have that will help them? But we don't want to offer that immediately, and keeping it very, very all about them. So that's part of the 3-way call, is really get to know each other's videos so that we can share those really fast. The next is the $820 script. Have you guys anyone really been studying this yet? It's a long one. It looks a little intimidating to get to know every single word and memorize it, but has anyone spent some time reading it and getting to know it? Okay, good. Bryce and Annie? Okay, great. And I can't see the rest of you right now. Sarah, you're frozen at the moment. Shar has. I gotta tell you guys, and again, I'm not a script person. I joke that I don't follow rules and I like to break rules like crazy. But ever since going to University in Action and having that in front of me, without even trying, the whole thing is flowing. So Jennifer, I'm going to pick on you again.
Okay.
Go back to yesterday's conversation when I started going over a little bit about your, let's see, we had Julie and Ralph. When we were talking about Julie and Ralph, I'm going to pick on you, Jennifer. What do you remember about that part of our conversation? Money or how it lined up or anything about that?
Mostly I remember we were talking about the ways, because my goal is to kind of earn my product instead of having to pay for it. So we were mostly talking about money, like, hey, if you get these guys into it, then you'll have the money to get yourself the product, and then if they get their buddies into it, then they get money and you get money, you know. So that was pretty much what stuck.
All right, cool. So do you think she learned you plus two, them plus two? She has to bring in a couple of her friends, and we have to teach her friends how to bring in friends. She's not going to memorize everything and know the whole thing, but all Jennifer needed to know is, all right, cool, I got to get a couple of my friends in and show them how to get a couple of their friends in, and I'll get my packs paid for.
Exactly.
Yeah, and look, and she's here tonight. So exactly, thank you, Annie. So yeah, I mean, they work. So just kind of get to know that $820 script and read through that, because it will start rolling off your time. But what I've been posting recently is try not to change it too much, because we want to be able to teach the Jennifers and everybody else how to say it exactly the same way. And what they hear us say is what they're going to do. So it is important to use those words as much as possible and stick to it. So if you did not read the post, we're asking for people to learn that, practice it, do a video, and we're going to give away more celebration tickets. Love to have these done by Saturday. I know it's a crazy week and it's Easter weekend, but let's see what we can accomplish and give away more of those. And then the last one is just going to be the three-way calls. So what I'd like to hear from you guys now is let's do we have 10 minutes. Let's do some actual objections or role play or anything like that. Does anyone have something in particular that you have gone through that you would like to have a different approach? Actually, Bryce, you actually just had something. Bryce was going to have someone return her product. So we got a text this morning.
Yeah.
My first person wanting to return her 30-day. What do I do? So go ahead, take it away, Bryce. What did we do and where did we end up?
Well, I started the conversation with her because I got the email from the customer care or whatever early this morning, and my wife and I were like, okay. And so I started the conversation with Karen fairly early, even before I brought you guys in, Stephanie. And just to touch base with her and say, hey, I got this notice and I just wanted to follow up with you and see how things are going. Have you been using the system? Is it working? And I've checked in with her a few times over the last 3 weeks since she started, but she usually comes to my boot camp at least once a week here at the house, and she hasn't been. So I haven't had a face-to-face conversation with her since she started it. So as she was going on, she said, I really don't feel like it was working for me. I haven't lost any weight because I don't think how does she say it? It's the same amount of calories as I was taking in. And so I don't think it's working. Like she felt she was taking in too much to eat. I said, wait a minute, and so that's kind of about the point when I brought you guys in, Stephanie. And so then Erin and I were kind of talking about how much are you eating? Are you eating the snacks? And she really came up to figuring if she was taking the 2 shakes a day, she wasn't doing any snacks at this point. And then she was eating maybe a 500-calorie meal. So she was only getting about 5 or 1,000 calories maybe total for the day. And I told her, I said, you really are probably too low in your calorie intake. You need to add those snacks in because it's going to bump your calories up to about 12 or 1,300, and that's going to start your metabolism. And so if you've slowed your metabolism too much because you're taking in too few calories, even though you're doing the 2 shakes a day, and I think she's done 1 or 2 cleanse days, and I think she cleansed yesterday.
Okay.
So that was part of it, was her, I think, the lack of calories. And then Erin kind of keyed in on the lack of protein, maybe just because she wasn't getting those extra snacks in and they weren't being protein based. And then her complaint about the cleanse days was, well, I've got headaches and I'm, I can't go to the bathroom. I said, well, those are actually fairly typical reactions to a cleanse day. And she said, oh, I didn't know that. I said, well, yeah, your body is detoxing. So that's some of the conversation we even had before I got you guys on board. So trying to, work through those, find out what was going on exactly, and then offer some of the perspectives and, reframing it a little bit and offering some solutions to it.
Great. Good. So it's a big aha moment when someone says that they want to return the product, and she obviously went to the extent of calling customer service already. So,
yeah, she did, but she hasn't done it yet. So she said she was going to try to go ahead and implement what we suggested through the rest of this week.
Right.
And see how she was feeling.
People just need to have some assurance, for one, that someone is there to help them and support them and keep them going. Sometimes they just need a little tweak with that, and that's what I was suggesting, Bryce, is let's just start a private message group with her, find out what's going on, because we'll pick up on it really fast. But when people come into this program, sometimes they've already made up a decision that it's not going to work for them,
right?
Or they're not going to like it, or it's, usually along that line. And so when it happens and it doesn't actually go through the way they wanted to, they're just ready to give up just like that. But if you talk to them and kind of calm them down, pat their back, and let them know we're here, everything can be turned around so fast. And that happened within an hour.
Yeah, basically. And I told her, I said, I feel bad. I feel like I've let you down a little bit. I haven't been in contact as much as I probably needed to. And she's like, no, it's not your fault. But on the plus side, she had mentioned to me that her husband even told her she should give it more time.
Right.
And so I already had that going for me as we began to talk, knowing that when I said, hey, it really takes a little more time, and if we tweak things a little bit, I bet we get this going for you.
Great.
And so that was a bonus, knowing that, she mentioned that. I was like, oh, good. I already have an in-home support really saying, listen, honey, you haven't given enough time yet. Let's, and so I just added to that. And that's what, Erin and you guys both said too. So it was kind of coming together as a whole. And I think we're going to be good. So. Perfect.
Yep. Just hold their hand and let them know you're there. So well done. Well done.
Thanks.
Beautiful. All right. We have time for one more. Has anyone else encountered something that you wish could go a different way, or just, anything that we want to discuss together? Everyone's muted for the most part. Go ahead and unmute if anyone has anything. Annie? Oh, you're looking. No? Okay. All right. I'll just look in here then, and I'll come up with something. I mean, raise your hand if anyone is having any trouble with Social Security numbers. Okay, everybody's good there? Okay, fantastic. That really is strictly us, of how we approach it. So as long as we approach it correctly, they're never going to flinch or think about it. All right, I'll bring up another example. Last night, Bonnie and I did basically 4 different conference calls, and they kept telling her no because of price. And so we got on the phone, and they're like, I'm really interested in doing this, but I'm nervous about the price. I can't afford it. I don't want to spend $400, and it just kept going that direction. And so Bonnie's been working them for probably about 2 to 3 weeks, but we did get them to come to the Facebook party. So immediately, I'm like, no problem. Let's just talk about your goals. What do you want to achieve? And so they would discuss what they wanted. And I'm like, okay, no problem. What kind of, we could look at this pack. And when I know that money's an issue, I'm probably going to go ahead and, like I did, take them to a lower pack, but then also show them the benefits of a higher pack. So one was an athlete. And I'm like, great, let's just go ahead and look at our athlete pack. Let's see if this is going to provide you what you want. You don't need to lose weight, so 2 shakes are fine. You need the ionics. You need the cleanse because this is what you're doing. And then you also need the bars and the replenish. He's like, okay, great. And I'm like, and it's $196. And he's like, great, that's it? I'm like, right, that's it. He's like, oh, okay, well, let's go ahead and get that. So a lot of times they just need assurance that they don't have to spend that much. By the time we were done, we actually did order a basic 30-day program with an IsoPro attached to it. So we went from, he was going to only order 1 box of amped fuel to an athlete pack to a 30-day plus IsoPro. And he's on auto ship. And so when they give you that price situation, just, and Annie's fabulous at this, take it right back to them. No problem. No problem. What are your goals? What do you want? Let's take a look at this pack. What do you think your budget is? And let's do that. And I don't know how many times, Annie, have we run across people who are like $50, $60, $80. And Annie will be like, okay, well, you know, we really want to, what are your goals? You know, we're not going to really, that's 7 shakes. That's 7 days. Let's really kind of take a look at, what if we just do this pack? It's $150 and it will give you that. And a lot of times they understand that so much more. You know, many times people will come to me for a 9-day and I'm like, I won't sell 9 days. They have 50% success rate. You're not going to do a 9-day with me. Sorry about that. Let's take a look at a 30-day. But while we're looking at that 30-day, let me also show you my favorite pack, which is a pace setter. And I just continue to show them the value. And so as long as they see that value and they put their head to their credit card and whatever it's going to cost, and they can, or they see the value, they'll go for it. So just, again, it's all going back to that connecting and asking them questions. So that connecting exercise is going to play out your entire relationship, because we just talked about that, of how to get to know someone, how to continue relationship with them, how to stop them from returning their product, and how to help them order the right pack for them. Is all just asking the right questions and continuing that. So with that, what kind of questions do you guys have before our Zoom shuts off?
Stephanie, it's Shar.
Yes.
Not really a question, but just something I stumbled onto that is just, I was like, why didn't I ever think of this before as far as overcoming objections? Really, it was more of cutting it off at the pass. I'm meeting with a group of high-end triathlete friends for a weekend training this weekend coming up. So I'm excited about the new athletic products, and I contacted them and said, on a Facebook message, and said, hey guys, let me know which products you'd be interested in trying, and I'll make sure I order enough for you guys all to try. And it's like, and I'm like, don't worry, I'm not trying to enroll you, LOL. I've already got all my enrollments for this term. I just want to make sure you guys get to try this stuff so I can get some testimonials from you. So I kind of made a list of what products were available. They came back to me and said, you know, they wanted to try this, that, and, you know, whatever. And then one said, well, but if we do like them, we can order them from you, right? It's like, yes, of course you can. But, you know, I just wanted to let you know, and it was true, all I really wanted to do was get some testimonials from them, because they are high-end athletes. But when I told them that I didn't want to enroll them, all of a sudden it was like, but wait a minute, you know, if you like them, you can still get them, right? And like, it's like, why didn't I ever think of that before as a, you know, not as a manipulative tactic, but as just to come in a more non-threatening way.
Yeah, just putting them at ease. You know, that's fabulous, Shar. I absolutely love that. And it's that situation of, if you take it away, they want it more.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Will you post that?
Do
it. Actually, just do a little video about that. If you would mind just sharing a little video, because sharing that, it might not come out in the same way with wording, but if you actually speak it, I think that'd come out great. But yeah, all these little aha moments of connecting, taking away the pressure, and just you know, listening to their needs without constantly giving them a solution. Just 1 or 2, you know, I have what you need. Let me know if you want it. I've got it. Cool. Thank you for that. All right, guys. So that will cover our Zoom call tonight. Now, if you want to jump back on, we're going to do our accountability call. So we do have to end this. If you want to jump back on, that's just kind of talk about which we may or may not have much to talk about. We'll see, because we did a lot tonight. But if you want to jump back on, we'll go over, personal things that have been happening, and take it from there. And then a couple of you already know about this, but just in case, for those of you that do order at Will Call, I have to come back to the company tomorrow morning about our Will Call. So I want to kind of explain what's happening at Will Call and get your opinion. Hey, Sonia, we're going to jump off right now and then come right back on. So that's going to be at 8 o'clock. So if you are, if you do get stuff from Will Call, please jump back on that, because it's going to affect all of us. All right. Thank you guys so much. Watch that $820 script and really kind of have fun with that. And hopefully I'll see you guys all in just a couple more minutes. Thank you all for joining tonight. Feel free to jump back on though.
Thanks, Stephanie.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Stephanie.